Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
I'm Bob. Happy Friday.
Welcome back to our Top 5 Friday ski industry news videos. It is very cold here in Vermont.
Yeah, what is it, about 11 under right now with
No, I think we're closer to 15 under
15?
by this point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rough this morning.
We're not talking wind chills either.
Right.
I see a lot of news outlets out there listing wind chills. We don't do that up here.
No. I mean, it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and just a little tiny
I
breeze.
think we're going to hit negative 24 tonight, I saw.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Skiing should be fun tomorrow. Oh, that snow's blowing around up there.
And no, it's actually going to be really
if
good.
you can deal with it, it's
I
going to be
don't think
good.
they're going to open Upper Mountain lifts again tomorrow. So I think Sunday morning is going to be really good.
Yeah. Bundle.
Yeah.
Bundle up.
Anyways, we had a little scheduled photo shoot up there this morning, and I was outside for like an hour and a half, like 4 hours ago, and my whole body still kind of hurts.
Yeah, it takes a while. That's why you need a hot
So
tub.
weird. Yeah.
Next purchase.
I really do want a hot tub. Anyways, so it's cold. And with that said, let's get right into the news, Bob.
All right.
So first topic of the week, as usual, we have some FIS Racing Recap. Michaela picked up win number 85 in the first of two Czech Republic slaloms. Unfortunately, was just barely edged out by Lena Durr in the second of those races. So picked up a second. So we're gonna have to wait for that win number 86.
Time for all the haters to start back up. Why doesn't she win every race?
The Michaela complainers.
Yep. She must be done.
She's done. Somebody, the golf podcast that I listened to, because John Rahm didn't win three tournaments in a row, they were saying the same thing about him
washed
very
up.
jokingly, like, guy's done. His career's over.
Yep.
Big shout out to Paula Moltzen. I feel like we've said that a lot this year.
Yep.
She's had a great season. She was 5th and 8th in those two slalom races, which puts her in 6th overall in the World Cup slalom standings.
Pretty awesome. And if Michaela didn't, in a world where Michaela didn't exist, and not only would she be 5th, but
she'd be the top U.S. ski racer.
Should be big news.
One of the best of the past couple decades. Yeah.
It's just a big shadow.
Totally.
Michaela casts.
Yep. And then on the men's side, we had two Super G races. Ryan Cochran-Siegel took 21st with River Radamus in 27th in that first race. And then second race, Kyle Negomir.
Spell it?
Negomir.
Yeah. I would say that is correct.
Thanks, Bob. So if anything, we're both wrong, which will make me feel better. He was 28th, and Bryce Bennett was 29th. So no top 10s there, but still strong skiing from the men. And after this, we're heading into World Championships in France.
Sweet.
Always really exciting.
Yep.
Obviously, that won't give Michaela a chance to pick up that 86th win. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer for that, but fun to watch her in World Champs anyways. Should be fun.
Yeah, more of that Olympic style.
Yeah.
Like, you're the world champion.
Right.
In this event.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. And then we had X Games last weekend. Really fun for me to watch those events. We're just going to kind of go through some highlights of X Games rather than touching on all the finishers. Megan Oldham, got to be one of the standouts from X Games this year. First triple in women's ski big air competition. She did a really nice high mute grab, triple cork 1440. Very reminiscent of Bobby Brown. Not even that long ago.
Right.
It wasn't that long ago that the men were kind of pushing the limits of those tricks. So really cool to see.
Really just like astronomical growth. Like men's and women's, but like just overall like astronomical growth.
Yeah.
Even like 10 years.
Totally.
Crazy.
Super cool to see. And she backed up that triple cork 14 with a right side double cork 1260. That gave her the win. And also picked up a win in slopestyle. So just a really, really strong showing from Megan Oldham. Mac Forehand was probably the standout competitor on the men's side. He picked up a win in big air, including the first ever forward double cork 2160, lead Cuban grab. Just very, very stylish. I saw a really nice comment. Huh?
That was
silly?
silly. That's
totally
a silly jump.
2160 is a silly number.
That's a big number.
Yeah. But I saw a really cool comment on Instagram that was like, that didn't even look like spin to win because it was so stylish. And I do think you got to hand it to Mac Forehand for putting that much style into a trick that big.
Yeah.
Crazy. He also picked up a second in slopestyle with Colby Stevenson in first. They did have some kind of weather and snow challenges through the X Games on particular days. Men's slopestyle might have been the most challenging of any of those events.
Yeah.
I always feel like when the conditions are challenging, Colby Stevenson like really rises to the top. Just such a strong skier.
Yeah.
So kind of cool to see the U.S. men taking first and second there. And then a few shout-outs here. Big shout-out to David Wise for just another half-pipe victory.
Half-pipe is crazy.
Well, and David Wise is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he's been winning for decades now.
It's just amazing. Like, the switch to switch, the combos of that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The switch down the pipe spins that they do now are pretty crazy.
And then, linking them.
Yeah.
Like, that's what blows my mind.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
That's got to be pretty, like in training the individual tricks, like the airbag in the water and stuff like that, really helpful. But you can't link it without doing it in.
No, you got to land and take off the next wall.
Yeah.
Yep. Alex Ferreira took a bit of a beating in the half pipe this year. That was tough to watch.
I was watching it with my wife, and she was definitely had the hands over her eyes on any of the replays and stuff like that. It's gnarly.
So hope Alex Ferreira is feeling all right. Looked like he was okay, just a little banged up. And then healing thoughts to both Kelly Silderu and Eileen Gu. They were easily two of the favorites, if not the two favorites on the women's free ski side. Both suffered knee injuries of varying degrees of severity. They're both looking pretty positive on social media, so I'm sure they'll both be back. Before you know it, both just incredible athletes, and I think they easily have what it takes to come back from an injury like that. But still a bummer to see. But overall, I think it was a successful X Games, kind of some interesting coverage. I don't really want to get too in-depth in that, but if you watched X Games, let us know what you think of the coverage. Some new personalities worked in there.
I thought it was right on brand. I think that us older.
Do you think that you think I've aged out of X Games marketing?
Based on what I saw in the crowds, you have.
I don't know who Stony McBlaze is. I got a lot of things to say about Stony McBlaze, and I'm not going to say any of them because I feel like we'd be here forever.
Yeah, I do like his shred court. I think that's an interesting little bit he's got.
Sure.
But X Games, I'm not sure. But that's the generation.
And then, what was the rapper's name?
I don't know.
Young Gravy.
Now you're really putting your age out there.
Yeah.
Young Gravy? That's not someone's name, is it?
I think it is, Bob.
Okay.
I got some mixed feelings about Young Gravy.
I mean, whatever happened to Chuck D and KRS-One?
You're
now I'm aging you out.
Yeah, I don't fit in now. I just feel lost, Bob.
Okay. Yeah, those were the good old days. I think our fist shaking years are upon us.
Stony McBlaze and Young Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. But that seemed to be what they were going for, and they did it. And I think.
Yeah. No, and I've seen like a lot of like Todd Richards got kind of fired up on social media and was like, "What ad agency are you guys like hiring?" But
how old is Todd Richards?
I think he's older than you.
Yeah.
I think. Got to be close. But yeah, it is funny. Like I think you bring up a good point. Like.
Yeah.
And I actually saw some interesting kind of back and forth on Todd Richards' post, where somebody was like, "No, you don't get it. Like Stony McBlaze is way more relevant to these kids than Todd Richards," and that was kind of like eye-opening to me. I was like, "Oh, right."
Right. If they did a poll of
like
whoever,
15 to 17 or 14 to 17-year-old action sports enthusiasts and said, "Who would you rather see in the X Games this year in the commentator booth, Stony McBlaze or Todd Richards?" It would probably be like 96
Right.
to 4%.
Or
Anyways.
just who is.
Right.
Do you know who is?
Right.
And like kind of sad for Todd, who's
Totally. A pioneer of snowboarding.
a godfather of the sport.
Right.
Like, that's a little sad.
Anyways, I've already spoken far longer than I wanted to about Stony McBlaze. But yeah, I would be interested in all of your opinions if you want to leave a comment and let me know what you think. And then we had 2 Freeride World Tour stops. So feels like somebody just like really opened the floodgate.
Right.
We had nothing for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and now we have 2 stops. So I'll kind of just run through the finishers here. We were in Spain for the first stop. On the women's side, Addison Rafford took first, Molly Armanino second, Sybil Blangin. I even looked it up.
Spell it?
I think I got it wrong, but it's Blanjean.
Yeah, Blangin.
Blangin. I don't know. Something like that. Just don't get mad at me. On the men's side,
I think the effort is what counts.
On the men's side, Max Palm took first, Oscar Mandin was second, and Carl Regner Eriksson was third. They had 4 days to relocate and rest up and reset for the second stop in Italy. On the women's side, Justine Dufour-Lapointe was first, Molly Armanino again in second, and Elizabeth Gerritsen, I can't read my own writing, veteran of the tour. She picked up third. And on the men's side, we had Valentin Rayner in first, Ross Tester in second, and Maxime Chablot in third. Pretty sure it's Chablot. So really exciting. We have both. We'll touch on it in edits of the week, but we have both of the replays on the link to the Written Top 5 Friday. So check that out if you didn't get to catch either of those events. And then an interesting article from Washington Post. I swear, like, my mouth
It's still frozen.
doesn't work from being so cold.
Your face got frozen.
Like,
this
I
morning.
genuinely think I did some nerve damage.
No, it'll
to
take
my
a day.
face.
It'll take a day.
So please forgive me that I physically can't speak. Interesting article from Washington Post examining the drop in local skiers in Japan and the growing divide between tourists and locals in just numbers of skiers.
I mean, are we all that shocked after, like, no one really knew much about Japan for a long time. And then kind of like, boom, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it started to really get, especially in North America, like, wow, look at all that snow.
From a tourism
perspective.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, like, you know, so they're talking about a few things like the aging population, like accessibility issues and rising cost. You know, like, those things are keeping the Japanese, like, locals really from skiing there.
Right.
And their numbers dropped huge. Like, it was like
18 million in 1998 to 4.3 million today.
Right. Like, that's a precipitous drop.
Huge drop.
And just a crazy number. But yeah, the aging population, you know, and just getting more expensive. Like, money brings money.
Right.
So as that tourism
they
boomed,
make more money from Western tourists.
Right. And then just pricing the locals out. It's a very familiar story.
Same story.
Yeah.
Yep, just on kind of a grander scale.
Yeah. And then some of the smaller areas that are more southern, they're not getting as much snow.
Yep.
So then there's just not as much skiing close to kind of the more metropolitan areas.
Totally.
But interesting set of events. You know, not altogether unsurprising, especially given, like, even just social media and, like, the, you know, influx of information about the skiing there. Like, probably not too many people thought of, like, Hokkaido as the skiing mecca 20 years ago.
Right.
Or at least not, it wasn't on my radar.
Right.
But pretty crazy.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to learn more, head on over to the Washington Post and give that a read. And then finally, we have our edits of the week. I think we have like 6, technically kind of 6 this week. So first up, we have episode 3 in Michaela Schifrin's Moving Right Along series. I think it's really cool that she's doing that.
Yep.
I think it's nice to get just a little bit of insight, an inside look into her lifestyle and what it takes to be the best. And then we have both of those Freeride World Tour replays. One of them is listed in the edits of the week. The other one is actually up in the written topic, the second topic. So if you're looking in edits and can only find one, just scroll up and you'll find the other. And then tons of X Games replays, so feel free to click through the X Games YouTube channel and you can find all of them. We've just got the Knuckle Huck replay highlighted in Top 5 Fridays. That was, again, like me physically being unable to speak. And then we have Sacred Grounds Part 3, Migration from Matchstick Productions. Always like watching Matchstick Productions content. And then this was really cool. Mad River Glen legend teaches the Charlie technique. Did you happen to catch this? I was watching.
That was
it
what you were
yesterday.
watching yesterday. Yeah. No, I didn't watch it, but it sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah, I like this guy a lot.
Yeah.
Really cool. Just classic. I don't want to say like old timer in a negative way, but he's been skiing Mad River Glen for a really long time. I really enjoyed the part in that video where he was like, yeah, there's about 30 people here that are better than me and ski a little faster. I just love the like combination of being very confident and very humble at the same time with a little bit of humor thrown in there too.
Yeah, it's good self-awareness.
Totally. Yep. If you've never skied Mad River Glen, definitely watch that because it gives you a really, really cool glimpse into the lifestyle and just kind of overall culture at Mad River.
Yeah, it's pretty darn unique.
It's very unique, yeah, and a really cool skiing experience. I would strongly recommend it to anyone who's never been there. And with that, I think that's it for this week's Top 5 Fridays. Stay warm if you're in New England over the next 24 hours. It's really just the next 24 hours. Once we're through that,
we'll get through there.
It's clear sailing.
Move on.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yep.
But yeah, tomorrow is looking pretty cold.
Yep, should be a good one.
Yeah. Hopefully I make it home. Hopefully vehicles start.
You'll be fine.
Totally. Anyways, hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.